9 to 5, raising your babies with joy and pride. A real ass mom. You're a real ass mom.
Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devon.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey.
Hey, Mama, hey. I'm well. How are you?
I'm in the joyful mood, I guess.
You're in the joyful mood, I guess.
Yes.
Are you sure?
No, I'm joking. I'm actually pretty joyful for what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So if this is your first time listening, I'm your host, Devon.
And I'm your host, Kendra. Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
Welcome. So as you can see, we are in our Christmas PJs.
Our holiday, yes.
And we know with the holiday season, it can be joyful for some, hard for others, excuse me. Some people may be in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in this phase of life where we're the sandwich, right? We eat a sandwich, our kids, where we eat our parents, right? And so with that, there's a lot of difficult tasks and obstacles that we face. And those who did with the podcast know we just had a rough 2024.
Yes.
So we did want to have an episode where we talk about like the joyous occasion of Christmas, right, or the holiday season, but also really hold space for those who may not feel joyful in this moment.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to feel the joyfulness of the holiday season when you're going through things. A lot of us are experiencing a lot of firsts.
Yes.
Right? And so, although we want to be joyous, we also want to so.
I think you summed up the intention behind this episode well. While we will sprinkle in some joy and talk about traditions and all the things, reality hit us pretty hard this year in our friend groups, within our parents' health, within being mothers and wives and all the things. So I think it is important for us to capture all of that and how it can impact the holiday season, not just with us personally, but moms and dads who may be able to relate to this conversation.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we don't always keep real.
Yes. Okay. So when you think about the holidays and where life kind of sits now, how are you stepping into this holiday season?
Yes. I think we are, Jared and I, when I say we are starting to set some of our own traditions. And really just making it what we want it to be. Right? And so, again, for those who don't know, my mother's health is just like all over the place right now. So that's why I was like, I'm trying to actively find joy. Because her situation is difficult to navigate and it's very stressful, it's constantly changing all the time, new information. So it's stressful during the holiday season. Thankfully, we got to spend Thanksgiving with her. And although it was short-lived as far as having actually dinner with her, we were able to spend a few hours with her. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be, but we're so grateful that we had the time to spend with her. So just really being in the moment and being present and really just trying to find joy in the small things. And so the boys are excited and they are dear kids in that aspect because, I can be a Grinch. And so I never really started like feeling this like holiday spirit until they came along. Jared's always been consistent with.
I'm actually with Jared for the first time.
Doing all the things. I'm like, why are we doing this?
I'm actually in alignment. It's very rare that I'm in alignment with Jared. We might need to take note of this in this conversation. It is currently 2:13 on a Saturday in December. But I'm with Jared there with the holiday cheer. But no, I think that's real. Your mom has had a year, and y'all have had a year at being her children and supporting her with all the things. So I'm happy that you are able to find joy through your boys and unfortunately for you through Jared, But full transparency, friend. I know your mom has had a year, but she's pulling through and she's going to be well in the new year. We're going to claim that. But I've had similar with my mom, not the same circumstance, but just the health, like it being a roller coaster has been that way for a few years now. And it's gotten to the point where I'm immune to some of the things that happen to or around her. And it can be like I found myself frustrated during the Thanksgiving holiday because my mom's negligence with her health. And I have tried to be positive, and I am now, but in that moment I'm like, nah, sis, like I'm not about to continue to baby you. Like, you're either gonna live or you gonna be somewhere else. Like, I don't know how else to put that. But you know, now we're getting into this season of greetings and love, and Christmas is one of those holidays that my parents really set the foundation for. I looked forward to Christmas every year. I still look forward to it. But now I'm in a space where it is taxing to set this joyous and whimsical tone for my son and myself and like, I still want to feel all the feels, right, for Christmas. But at the same time, reality just hits us. Like, with our parents' health, my mom and dad are spending Christmas with us this year, so I will be able to have eyes on her and say, make sure she's doing what she's supposed to do. But we also have friends who have losses this year. Our husbands have had losses this year. Like, it's been a lot of loss. So it's just a matter of, like, how do we navigate this whimsical feeling of Christmas and celebrating Jesus and all that he is, but also doing that without our loved ones, so it's a lot of transition between, like I said, our friend groups and our parents, who are also our children at this point in life. Yes. So how are you staying joyous in this? Like, I know you mentioned the boys and Jared, but how are you keeping your spirit joyous during the holiday?
Find things to do and like so we did the admin, or we're doing the admin calendar, and so this is our first year implementing that. I knew I couldn't be responsible for Elf on Shelf, so I was like, I couldn't handle this calendar thing. And so initially when I was like, yeah, let's do it, I didn't realize we had to do the tips. I thought we just used calendar around. I didn't realize there was a
Usually it's like a treat.
yeah. We never read it all the way. Or
you just saw a calendar to say, oh, countdown to Christmas.
And so the first week, we had Christmas snacks that I found at Target, and literally gave snacks to the kids all week, but they loved it. And so just finding joy in the little things, and like the big stuff does not matter. But they are going to remember the experience and the things that I've done, or Jared and I have done for them. And so it's funny, and maybe we can try to plug this little video I have of Drew and Jay, their reaction. So I wanted to do like all these decorations in the house for Christmas. We just can't wait. So like, we got some stuff, we had some stuff from last year, we got to make it. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But I did find like some Richmond bathrooms before that was very affordable. And so I redid their bathroom. And their reaction was priceless. And so, backstory, you have a very distinct title. And Jay wants to be country so bad. Like,
let the boys be country.
They practice talking country. So they'll be like, Jay will be like, Drew, you want to practice talking country? And Drew will be like, yeah. And then he would say, well, how do you say 4? You say 4 like 4. And it's just like, y'all, please stop. But his whole reaction was country. So it's like, good. You did so good. Come here. It's like, oh, this is so cute.
It was funny.
But it was funny. I'll put it on our page too.
You should.
Just little memories of Christmas and what it means. They have their own tree this year. And they like a lot of things. So trying to incorporate all the things that they like. So it's really the superheroes saving Christmas from the Grinch. So that's kind of fun to create. They're making their own ornaments with Jared, and it's just fun.
I like that spin.
Is it something I would choose? No. But is it something that they love?
As long as they feel the joy.
Even with that Christmas tree, like usually I'm like, oh, it has to be theme, it has to be colors, it has to be all these things. And a lot of our Christmas trees filled with like the ornaments they have made over the past few years since they've been in school. And it's so beautiful to me. And I never thought I would be that parent because, you know, kids stuff is not always. And I like things to look nice and cute and fit. And so, but like seeing their actual ornaments taking over the tree is just like really beautiful. Like I said, usually I'm the Grinch of Christmas. I'm like, whatever.
But you like for things to look nice and look at.
I'm not just gonna throw anything together, but yeah, so it's been cool.
That's good.
Drew and Jay,
Huh?
I have a surprise for y'all.
What?
Come in the bathroom.
Good job, go! You did this! Woo! Oh, shit.
Okay?
You the best, mama! Come in!
Stop talking
Come
like
in
that.
here! Look at all this! See? Look. Look at all that! Yeah.
You
Look
like
at
it?
that. Yeah, I like it very much.
Can you please stop talking like that?
You made me too excited, girl. You're too good at this now.
Drew,
Look at this.
please stop talking like that.
Whoa.
What do you think, Jay?
So cool.
You like it?
And the way that I upkeep my home and the way that I make my home feel is a direct reflection of my mom. So my mom is a cosmetologist and an interior. Like, she loves decorating and making a house a home. Like, that's her thing. So naturally, like, that's what I'm used to. And I remember how Christmas felt for me as a kid because of what my mom and dad created it to be. And I find myself wanting to do the same for Eli. So I have actually, did a bit too much Christmas decorating shopping, but I just needed my home to feel like Christmas this year because of all the loss and grief and all the things that have happened. I'm like, no, my house will feel like Christmas this year. So we're slowly but surely getting there. But Eli also, he has his own Christmas tree, and it too is a culmination of all the things that he likes. So we got the Grinch and Max and all of Marvel's characters, plus the Transformers and Mickey Mouse. It's just, and then some of the personal ornaments that he's made at school, right? So his room has his own thing, but the family tree downstairs, mommy put that together. So I have some family ornaments on there, but I just, Christmas is my favorite holiday. So it is my intention every year to make my house feel like Christmas. And last year it didn't feel that way to me. Like, it's like, oh, the Christmas tree is here. I loved having it, but there was a lot more intention behind it this year. And I think it's because of all the trauma and grief and things that have happened this year.
Yeah, so I think this is your first time, correct me if I'm wrong, doing Christmas like at your house, right?
Yes, I've never in my 30-something years of life spent Christmas at my house.
Maybe that's why you have that feeling too. Like, I just want to, and your mom is coming too, so it's like.
And Jolene, so she's actually at home with Eli right now at my house. And she walks in and she said, "Oh, that tree pretty." She said, "Oh, that tree pretty. And here's what you could do this food." So I'm like, you know what? You have at it, sis. So when we get back to the house, I will probably have not a completely different tree, but she's going to make it pop a little bit more, which I can appreciate. I love that about my mom. But this is my first Christmas at home, and I'm excited about it. And if I love it too much, then.
My first one, what's that mean? 2-3 years ago, and my family actually came and Jared's dad came a few times, and I don't really want to go nowhere else for Christmas if I don't have to. I like being in my home. I like the brunch that we do, the donut tree, the hot cocoa station, all the things that I've started like incorporating, like family superlatives, who's most likely to be late to dinner and stuff like that. It's just been really fun.
Yeah.
And this year, my brother's actually coming up, so this is my first time doing Christmas with him since the pandemic. So I'm excited and having like the matching PJs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like it, and you're gonna be like, yeah. Y'all either gonna have to come to me, or we just gonna do our little family.
Yeah.
Like it's no harm, no foul. It's just so much trying to spend Christmas somewhere else.
Yes, and we've been everywhere.
And I feel like we're always the ones packing them out there in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so Jared brought that to my attention. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and what I grew up like Christmas growing up was a family affair. Like everyone was at my grandma's house, all the cousins, all the aunties, uncles, like it's a huge family affair. So that's how I grew up with like the foundation of celebrating Christmas. And after my grandmother passed, of course, you know how we are in Black families, people kind of do their own thing. And we still did Christmas as like an immediate family with my mom and my first cousins and aunts and all the things. But now it's like everyone has their own family now. We all have children. It's too much to make sure they have all their gifts and all their things and packing. It's way too much. So I'm excited to be at home for Christmas this year. And I will let y'all know next Christmas if we're going to be doing the same thing again. So, I am pretty sure he is. Pretty sure.
So y'all actually did Kwanzaa last year, right?
We did do Kwanzaa. We loved it. We loved Kwanzaa, and we will be doing it every year. Last year was our first year, so we had to learn a lot of things, like with understanding like the culture of Kwanzaa, how we are supposed to respect the holiday on each day, what each day means, how the eldest in the family household is supposed to light the candle. It's a whole thing, right? And I didn't grow up practicing Kwanzaa. So us incorporating that into our holiday family tradition last year, we were like, yeah, we're definitely doing it again this year. We're excited to do it this year because one, we'll have our friends there. So we plan to incorporate some Kwanzaa activities with y'all for the new year. So we will continue to do Kwanzaa. We loved it.
So what is one thing that you learned that you didn't know that you're practicing tradition?
Yeah, so like how each day there's intentionality behind each day. And you're supposed to live out each of those days with the intention that was set for whatever day in the Kwanzaa world it is, right? So having to be, again, intentional about how we live each of those days out is something that I didn't really know. It's like I knew that Kwanzaa was a tradition, but like the depth of it, I didn't quite understand until we were in it. So we've already thought through things like how we want to serve our community during Kwanzaa or during the Kwanzaa season, because this is, a day that's set for whatever service or what have you. So there's a lot more intentionality that will be behind Kwanzaa this year. And I think that's kind of what we were missing last year. Yeah. So what traditions, like you mentioned your donut tree and the brunch and all the things, are you doing that this year too?
Yes. There are some requested things that the boys have. I don't have an option. Like I have to do.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're gonna do Kwanzaa this year because I don't feel like we planned for it or like been intentional behind it. But next year, something,
Friend, you got time.
I know it's just my brain.
That's fair. Well, Jared has enough brain for you to use. So lean on his brain too to help. Yeah, I'm just saying,
But yeah, definitely. So Christmas Eve, we do like the gingerbread house. We watch Christmas movies, all of that. Make cookies. No, I don't make them from scratch. I'm not a baker.
Can we try this year?
No, I don't have to do it.
Friend, I will find a recipe and send it to you. You don't have the bandwidth?
No. I'm doing all the cookies. So The kids are not eating right now.
That's fair. You gotta do what work for you.
So yeah, wake up, make brunch, and then family will come over, open gifts, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Stay outside all day with the toys, like when we grew up. And then dinner.
Yeah. Growing up, Christmas was a whole experience.
So that's really fun.
Ooh.
And Drew and Jared has this like duet that they redo Temptation in my mom.
I need to see that version this year. I need to see that.
It's been a while, a few years since they've done it, but it's
I miss like you brought up like the whole big family talent show and all the things. One year I have a goal of getting all of my great grandma kids together like we did back in the day for Christmas, because it's been years since that has happened. We used to do all those things. We had all the game nights and the talent shows and the karaoke and all the things. And, you know, some traditions fade out.
Unfortunately, only grandmas have that much power to like make it into something. Like, I don't know what they do, but like
a switch. Right. Get on over here. Make sure you bring them kids. Oh.
So, yeah, it's just like when you start losing children in your family, like.
It does. I pray that whenever God calls me to glory, that Eli will continue and our children will continue to practice all the things we did when I was here. So, you know, that's a goal of mine. So, the kids' Christmas list. I feel like Eli wants everything. I've asked him, what you want for Christmas? And I even gave him, like, remember back in the day when the East Bay books used to come in, you get all the shoes and you start circling, they have Amazon books. So I was like, why don't you look through this book and circle what you want? 90% of the book was circled. I'm like, you're not getting all of this. So what are we doing here? What are you getting the boys for Christmas? Or what do they want, rather?
Well, I don't know. They want a PlayStation 5. And I'm not buying that. I think either my father or my brother, I don't know. Not coming out our account. But the boys have a lot of toys and a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're keeping it very small. Drew has a dirt bike, so naturally they have to get one. So that's easy. It is good. But they are getting things like skateboards, skates, and bikes. Mm-hmm. That is it.
Yeah.
They don't need anything else. They outgrew the bikes that they have. That's the only reason why they're getting new ones. Skates is something that they haven't learned yet, so I feel like that's a new skill that they can learn. I actually want to get back to skating as well, and it could be a fun family activity.
Yeah.
And then same with skateboarding. Drew loves the hoverboard, so I'm like, okay, actually learn the skill of skateboarding.
Like the basics, and then you can go back to your hoverboard.
You learned that like in 2 days, but still, just learning the basics. And they are truly outside kids. Like, people always say, you don't see kids outside in my neighborhood. It's different.
Yeah.
But it's real different. Kids be outside.
It's a community.
Yeah, it is a community, and I think the neighborhood, things have changed a little bit. But they still be outside. And so I do want them to have the experience the things we did not experience what we remember.
Yeah.
And if they do get this gaming system, I don't want them to be tied to that all the time.
Yeah.
So I want them to find joy in the basics.
Yeah.
And that's what's on it.
Yeah. Eli is an outside kid too. I do wish there were more kids around us, especially his age, because he would be outside at all times of the day if he could. But his big gift this year is a Nintendo Switch Lite. So he has kind of gotten into games, and me and Jonathan had the conversation on like if we should get it or not. And I was like, I don't see anything wrong with it. We set boundaries, on how often you're on the game and when you can use it. But we also had these things growing up. Like we were outside too, and we had our little Game Boys or Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, all the things. So my mom wants to get him another bike. He has outgrown his bike. She's kind of put her stamp on, I'm getting him a bike. So I'm like, if you want to buy it, you go ahead. They are. A good bike is expensive.
And some of these things are on a list other people are buying. Like grandpa.
Oh, okay. Yes, and skates. So Eli has skates. He's just never he's never worn. He's never used them. But we also haven't been in a space where he can just freely go out and go skating. But he, I got some little stocking stuffers for him. I'm really big on like getting clothes and pajamas and socks and underwear for him when it's on sale. So those are more of the necessity things, and he's growing like a sprout. So I'm like, you need more clothes. But toys, and he didn't get a single toy outside of some of the stocking stuffers that I got him, or excuse me. I did the shopping, but it came out of our account. Yes, you get me, you feel me. But yeah, it's where he's gonna do a purge. That's part of his Elf on the Shelf. One of his ideas. The elf Ernie is encouraging you to get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah, I do like that with the boys too. They do look forward to donating here because they're going to get more.
I mean, is that how it's framed?
So it's just like, but you have to, if you want to make space for new gifts, like you have to give away the things you're not using. And somebody else can benefit from it. So
gotcha.
They do like that. Yeah.
Okay. So my last question for you. I love food. And I love food around the holidays. What are you cooking this year?
I honestly don't know what's on the menu yet, if I can be honest. I haven't gotten it yet.
I hear you.
It's going to be a nice meal.
Whatever it is, it's going to be nice.
What do you make?
I quietly don't know either.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to keep it traditional because my parents are coming. But also, I'm like, we can also explore other options. Like, I feel a seafood night coming on, like Christmas Eve maybe. But I don't know. I have no clue.
It also depends on the
That too. That too. That too. I've already tapped into my dad about going to the commissary. So, like, I need those military benefit groceries. So, Mama Juice, it's Mama Juice time. So, y'all know we like to keep it festive around the holidays. And today's drink is called Home for the Holidays. Mama Juice is my favorite segment of the show. We have a cocktail or a mocktail curated for every episode. And this is actually Issa Rae's wine. It's called Vera Rae. And I added some cranberry and some fresh rosemary. Both the cranberries are also fresh to the Prosecco. And it's like when you drink it, you get this smell of rosemary with it. It's really, I like it. It's good. If y'all haven't tried this Prosecco, it is really good. It's not as sweet as most Proseccos are. It's very well balanced and it's delicious, especially for a nice Christmas Eve cocktail. So I would definitely advise this for your Christmas or your Christmas Eve brunch. Mm-hmm.
So if this is your first time listening, Mama's Corner is my favorite segment. This is our opportunity to connect with each other, further guests, or if you guys were in Mama's Corner, which you can do at mama@therealmamapod.com. And if you ask us a question, we will give you our advice based on our experiences, not as experts. So if something doesn't work out for you, it's not our fault. But if it does, give us our credit. So I wanted to talk about Santa Claus.
Oh.
And so the reason why I brought this up is because I didn't realize like my kids felt this way, right? So in our home, everything is Black Santa, Cocoa Santa, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the real world, it's not like that. So really, I didn't realize the only time they saw Black Santa was at home. And so we were putting up the decorations, and Jay, he's like, Santa Claus is chocolate. He's not chocolate. And I was like, yes, he is. And I was like, there's a chocolate Santa right there. And he was like, but he's not chocolate anywhere else. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, he's a spirit, and whatever you want him to look like, that's what he looks like. And so in this home, Santa is chocolate. And so he was like, okay. And I was just like, all right. But I feel like that sucks that
these kids aren't stupid.
Yeah, he only family at home as a chocolate man and nowhere else. So, and to introducing the idea of Santa. So we've never really said, Santa Claus bring you these gifts. It's just like he's here. That's it. Like he's not responsible for anything in our home. And my little parent group at school, the parents going crazy because the older kids are telling the younger kids that they're switching to Santa, and they still want them to believe. And I'm just like, listen, y'all got them in the after school programs with these big kids. Like, you can't continue to tell stories about Santa Claus and not be real. Like, they're going to have questions. So they're like, how do we keep our kids believing? And I just never respond because I'm like, just let it go. But they still want them to believe. So what is your stance on that? What is Santa Claus like in your house? Has Eli asked you about Santa per se? What's his responsibility?
So we got a lot of questions in Mama's Corner. So Eli has not outright asked me about Santa. He's mentioned Santa, but he hasn't come and said, is Santa this? Or is Santa real? Or is this? I mean, he's still 5, you know? I personally, I grew up in a house where it was Black Santa around me. Like my grandmamas, there was never a white Santa in either of their homes. And this notion of Santa, like in my mind, you know, we see white Santa on Coca-Cola cans and all the things, but in my mind, Santa was black, you know? But I like the spin that you put on, like you said, a spirit, but just like it's the magic of Santa. Like magic in our home, like there is a Santa that looks like us that comes and drops a gift off or whatever. But when it comes to applying Santa in our home, I'm not going to outright say Santa gifted you all this because I'm not giving Santa that much credit. I may say Santa got you one gift. Just one. Just to, you know, I just feel like there is some innocence around like that. Maybe it's just my upbringing. Like I believed in Santa and all the things. Like I don't know. It was just a part of Christmas for me as a kid. And I do want Eli to feel the same joy. And I was also one of those kids that wasn't like heartbroken when I found out that Santa was not real. It's like as you get older, you start putting context clues together. Like how does this, you know, but you still keep the magic in quote flowing and rolling. So Eli, again, he's never like outright asked if Santa did this or did that, but he's mentioned Santa. So, I mean, we haven't killed his joy or his magic of Christmas around Santa, but at the same time, we're not giving Santa that much credit.
I give him all the credit. Like he's here, he's chilling, he's kicking it, but that's as far as it goes. I think because I was the last to find out in my class when I was in second grade. This is why I'm like, I remember coming home. It's like, Mommy, Santa is not real. She's like, yes, he is. And I was like, Shakira Johnson told me he's not real. And that she called me some type of name for still believing. I was like, tell me the truth. You tell me to tell you the truth. You tell me the truth. She's like, all right, it's not real.
And you wonder where Drew get that from.
The emotions. She's like, don't take siblings. Like, that, you know, don't run it for them. And I was just like, that's jacked up. So I always tell, like, when I get older, if I have kids that, I mean, Santa will be around, but he didn't get no credit.
No, don't give him all the credit. No.
Speaking of Santa, really quick, we have these coloring books.
Yes.
Santa Claus and Coco Santa.
Representation.
And melanated. And we'll drop the link below where you can find it. It's an Amazon. But it's just a coloring book that's super cute. It has like elves, Santa, Claus. Definitely just to give you that extra.
Yeah. And shout out to Marcy Butler, who is the creator of Mary and Melanated, who's also a Rattler. I love how the Rattler community has also shown up for each other around the holiday season. Like we had a Rattler create a whole Facebook group called Coco Claus, and she was dropping in, or people were dropping in all the Black Santa, Black holiday things, where you can find it, how much it costs, how it looked in their home. And I just love how we show up for each other in all the spaces, even around the holiday season. So shout out to Marcy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And gift this to a little one.
Yes.
Grab it for yourself or your kid. Coloring is definitely therapeutic.
Yes, for me, I love to color.
So, please,
I've been trying to decide if I was going to keep this book or if I'm going to give it to Eli. Because all he's going to do is, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to see. He's gotten better with coloring, but I don't know. This is, yes. It was.
You know, the holidays may not be easy for some.
You can still, yes, try to make the best of it. Love on your family, love on your friends, love on the person next to you that you don't know, because you never know what life has given them. It's important for us to show up for each other in all the spaces during this holiday season. Yes. And mama, don't put all the pressure on yourself this holiday season. Okay. Bye. Merry Christmas.